Grenada, the stage is set. Brilliant minds, fresh perspectives. It's more than competition. It's confidence, creativity, and critical thinking in action. The Grenlec debates, powering bright ideas.
Welcome to the 2025 Grenlec debates, a stage where our nation's young minds rise to the challenge of engaging with issues that define our future. In this impromptu forum, matchups on topics were determined by draw, and students had 30 minutes to prepare their arguments before taking the stage. This year, we begin with the preliminary round under the theme Mental Health and Wellness in the Digital Age. I am your chairperson, Ambrosia Charles, and I now call this house to order. This match is contested between Beacon High School and St. David's Catholic Secondary School. The motion is, be it resolved that interactive video games have a positive impact on mental well-being.
Interactive games that are online can improve a person's social skills and help to build stronger bonds with others. While on an online game like Roblox or Free Fire, which have chat rooms, it can help an individual to learn how to make friends or build stronger friendships with others. During COVID-19, games like Among Us, Minecraft, Ludo, and online Uno helped us cope with loneliness. My worthy opponents, I play Free Fire, I play Call of Duty, but do I want to kill someone? No. Is my mental health down? No. I am perfectly fine. Because of these games, I can cope with my stress and I can make friends. For example, imagine a situation where you try to do homework but just can't figure it out. Simply hopping on a puzzle game can help you see outside of your regular thinking.
Video games can easily become an addiction, and addiction disrupts our students' sleep. Video games become substances. Substances precede and increase the risk of developing other mental disorders. Video games often encourage gambling. According to the National Library of Medicine, in 2016, substance use and mental health disorders go hand in hand 75% of the time. And as we know, video games are a substance. You get addicted to them. My second point, Roblox, as well as other video games online, can exemplify stalking, cyberbullying, predatory behavior, and putting children in a higher level of danger. In 2020, Heidenberg research found that Roblox did little to nothing to hinder online predators. Do we really want our children sending friend requests to other online predators? Yes, let's send them a chat. Let's send them a request to play a game. But we cannot see them face to face. We do not know who our children are interacting with.
Interactive video games releases stress and can expand one's vocabulary. It can also allow one to think critically. Interactive video games such as Block Bass, Word Search, Subway Surfers, etc. give one a feeling of relaxation. Can you imagine coming home from a long day of work or school and having no stress relievers? My worthy opponents, in the time of lockdown where persons could have barely seen family and friends and were feeling stressed, most of them turned to interactive video games to release this stress.
Your second speaker also stated that children use Roblox, right?
Yes.
So the children that uses Roblox, should they be given the responsibility or should they be responsible for what they do? Shouldn't the parents be responsible for what the child do on their devices?
Yes, however, many parents do not take responsibility for what their child do on their devices. Children from starting ages 4 to up to 10 who are not intelligent enough to understand the dangers that come with playing online video games and interacting with strangers who you do not know and cannot see face to face. You do not know their age, you do not know their intentions. Those children are not capable of understanding which ones are dangerous and which ones are not. So they play Roblox, right? And they interact with older people. And you don't know what type of grooming is going on. My worthy opponent, you cut me off.
There should be some parental guidance.
Yes, so how about we implement that? We cannot just say interactive video games such as Roblox and Call of Duty help their mental well-being.
We would like to move on to the next question.
We should not allow video games and online relationships to replace physical relationships. An article by Open University 2016 states, and I quote, replacing real-life relationships often results in mild to moderate cases of depression. We are all aware of the violence, sexual assault, and fraud being taking place online. How can we allow our children to be on a platform such as this?
My worthy opponents, I have my backpack and ready to take you on an adventure. My worthy opponents, you guys are on the wrong route. As Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell said, don't go there. Your first speaker stated that interactive games are an addiction. So are you saying that I'm addicted to coping with my mental health? As my POI speaker stated that students should be able to have self-control. My worthy opponents. Your second speaker stated that games like Roblox introduce dating. May I remind you that games like Roblox have age restrictions? Online games are not harmful. It creates a safe space and a well-interactive crowd. But are you saying that we can't be free will to go and play games? Video games do have impact on us. Our well-being and mental health is very put together. You can control your mental health and well-being.
And the winner is St. David's Catholic Secondary School. This match is between St. Mark's Secondary School and Westerhall Secondary School. The motion is, be it resolved that for youth, cyberbullying is equally as damaging as physical violence.
Both physical violence and cyberbullying come from a person of power. Let's think back on the very definition of cyberbullying. To use strength or power to hurt or frighten another person online. In both situations, there must be a bully and there must be a victim. In both situations, you are being damaged, whether it is physically or emotionally. The very definition of health, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is the condition of a person's body and mind. According to the Pan American Health Organization, around 85% of students suffer from cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can cause anxiety, depression, phobia, and compulsion. Don't you think physical violence can cause the same things? A victim of physical violence will also suffer from anxiety and depression, same as a victim of cyberbullying.
Won't you agree that the users of the social media apps have the option and ways to stop the cyberbullying? Example, social media apps have given and made different ways to protect its users. Example, you can report the person. You can also block the user that is harassing you. And lastly, you can delete the app and find different sources of entertainment. Also, if cyberbullying gets to the point where a person is having suicidal thoughts, there are apps they can use if they refuse to seek traditional help. Example of an app is Calm, an app that focuses on guided meditations and helping troubled youth.
My worthy opponent, can cyberbullying make you also have suicidal thoughts?
My worthy opponent, that is not what we are trying to say. We are trying to say that...
My worthy opponent, I asked you to answer my question.
That's what I'm doing, my worthy opponent. As you can see, as I was saying that physical violence can cause suicidal thought, not cyberbullying. As my first speaker stated, that cyberbullying, you can delete an app or block the person, and Instagram and other users can usually block the person or report the person, and you can be banned permanently until.
My worthy opponent, are you sure that these therapist apps are safe and confidential?
My worthy opponent, I'm sure that all of your teammates may have an app or something like that. But what I'm trying to say that you can ban someone for cyberbullying and etc. Most of these days, physical violence has been a very heavy thing on Grenada and even America or over places or like overseas. So what I'm trying to say that physical violence can cause suicide or death or something like that.
My worthy opponent, can't you report someone who is also physically violating you?
My other opponent, yes, as just said.
My worthy opponent, you stated no sources from where you got your information from.
My other opponent, we get our information from the Oxford University, from the Oxford Dictionary.
But my worthy opponent, why wasn't that stated in your speeches? How are we sure that we can trust you that know that you got it from the Oxford Dictionary?
My other opponent, maybe my fellow teammates or colleagues may forget to put that in the information, but I can assure you that we get our information from the Oxford Dictionary.
As my second speaker stated, they have a choice to ignore the cyberbullying. There are hotlines and apps and family members they can talk to. How can the other team be so ignorant? Also, another point is that they can completely distance themselves from social media. Social media is an option and a want, not a need. You have the choice to turn this around using technology, but in physical violence, you can be threatened face to face for something precious. Audience, let's open our eyes. Social media is a choice, and if one chooses to be bullied, then so be it.
Your first speaker stated that physical violence might not be the choice of the person being bullied. So are you saying that the people who are being bullied, cyberbullied, are choosing to be bullied? Yes, they can find someone they trust, but not everyone can trust anyone, not even their parents. Your second speaker said that they can find other apps. But if you are comfortable on an app, for example Roblox, and you are being bullied on that app, would you leave your comfort space because of them? They go on apps to relax their minds and for entertainment. They did not go on apps to be bullied.
And the winner is Westerhall Secondary School. This match is between St. John's Christian Secondary School and Westmoreland Secondary School. The motion is, be it resolved that in the digital age, managing one's online consumption is a personal responsibility, not a societal one.
According to CDC.com, half of U.S. teens ages 12 to 17 report over 4 hours of screen time daily. This does not include schoolwork. My worthy opponents, does this clearly not show that the management of screen time is on the individual and not necessarily a responsibility of the society? This overconsumption can lead to negative effects, such as cyberbullying. This can also lead to things such as suicidal thoughts and depression. According to CDC.com, 48% of teens say that social media has a mostly negative effect on people their age, up from 32% in 2022. My worthy opponent, the overconsumption of screen time and social media obviously affects their everyday lives.
Society can set rules to guide people in managing one's consumption. Society can make rules and regulations so that people will be able to stay safe online and be safe from online predators. This can lead to people being able to be safe online and reduce stress and anxiety. According to CSI, 60% of people who follow rules from society reported that they were safer and was able to manage their online consumption better. Furthermore, society can have a great impact on people in that society consists of friends and family, and most people are willing to listen to their family for advice. People don't trust themselves enough to manage their online consumption.
The use of social media and technology relies solely on an individual, not the society in which they live in. For example, many parents provide their children with phones and other devices. However, they are not aware of half of the apps that are on it. This increases the chances that they can be exposed to harmful content online, such as cyberbullying, which can lead to anxiety, depression, or even thoughts of suicide. My worthy opponents, How can individuals listen to society when they can't even listen to themselves or their friends or family? In Grenada, 62.9% of people use the internet, and 29% of those are active on social media and have been experiencing some sort of harassment online. My worthy opponents, doesn't this clearly indicate that one should be responsible for how long they spend on the internet? It most definitely does. An individual should be responsible for how they use the internet, limiting themselves and being cautious of what they view.
The responsibility for wellness rests with the family and community. Institutional intervention could erode these traditional support systems. Parents, educators, and technology companies can collaborate to create a safer online environment with parental controls and age appropriate. Society can promote balanced screen time. Schools and parents should implement guidelines for healthy daily screen time for students and adolescents. Encourage scheduled digital breaks and offline activities such as exercise, arts, and social interaction. Reduces stress, anxiety, and sleep. Disturbance caused by excessive screen exposure. Some Caribbean schools have begun tech-free period during the day to encourage outdoor play and social interaction.
Worthy opponent, how exactly does society implementing rules relate to one's online consumption?
Well, my worthy opponent, when society, the rules that society implements are how to manage your online consumption better, my worthy opponent.
But my worthy opponent, how do you say so if an individual does not even listen to themselves? How do you know that for sure that they will listen to society?
Well, my worthy opponent, society can be anyone, my worthy opponent. It can be your close friends. Are you trying to say that they will not listen to their close friends, my worthy opponent?
Do you know these same friends are the people who are judging them? Is it not true that it's a personal choice for online content? Like whatever you view, isn't it a personal choice?
But it is indeed a personal choice, my worthy opponent. But for your friends, your family, my worthy opponent, sometimes it's not always good to trust yourself, my worthy opponent. Sometimes it's just better to get advice from...
I understand that. However, don't you think that an individual should have the responsibility to know what they should view?
The proposition agreed that social media has mostly a negative impact on individuals. However, this argument fails because social media itself isn't a bad thing, but the users. According to World Health Organization, social media can be a useful tool depending on the use. A study from the Journal of Adolescence found that individuals who utilized social media positively did not show any signs of negative impacts. They suggested that the use of social media can lead to harmful content. Yet, this ignores that social media has a much greater impact. But, my worthy opponents, it can also be a way of connecting and reaching out to others.
The first speaker of the opposition team stated that social media can implement rules to protect online users. But are we to ignore the fact that apps such like TikTok, Instagram, even Roblox not only set time limits, but allow users to set their own limits? It also allows these users to request more time and to also ignore limits of the day. Do these 2 points not clearly tell you, as the judges and audience, that consumption is based solely on the user, not on the app developers or the user society? The opposition's second speaker also stated that schools and parents should implement guidelines on how users should manage screen time. However, during the POI segment, your speakers never specifically stated how society can implement rules on how to control online consumption. How can you debate the moot if you can't even give examples on how these rules on these rules and guidelines?
And the winner is St. John's Christian Secondary School. This match is contested between Hillsborough Secondary School and Grenada SDA Comprehensive School. The motion is, be it resolved that social media platforms contribute significantly to the mental well-being of teenagers.
Behind this motion lies a truth many are afraid to confront, and we, the proposition, intend to bring it to light. Let's talk statistics. Virtually, all teens, about 96%, ages 13 to 17, use the internet daily, and nearly half say they are online almost constantly for platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. Social media is basically the new avenue to become trendsetters. I know you've seen the Bahamians on TikTok with their coin chains and grills. Now tell me, haven't you seen many different students from all around the Caribbean with foil paper gold chains and grills, imitating the moves of the Bahamians? Can't you see it? How then can you say that social media doesn't contribute significantly to our mental well-being?
Social media platforms risk addiction. According to therapist Dr. Anne-Marie Coy, 90% of teens report using social media platforms, with 88% meeting the clinical criteria for addictions. The therapist went further to state that problematic, addictive social media usage rose by 35% in the past 2 years. Still not swayed, these platforms are 52% more mentally detrimental than substance addictions with unique and dangerous complexities. The more time in the virtual world, the less skills in the real world. I will now diligently delve into the darkened doors of cyberbullying and toxicity. Social media platforms fail to effectively combat the negative atmosphere introduced by social media platforms. According to the National Institute of Health, 68% of high school students report moderate to severe depressive symptoms.
According to a report from UNICEF in Jamaica, about 6 in 10 students say they have been bullied at some point. My worthy opponents, how can you then say that social media does not have a significant impact on the mental health of teenagers? We spend most of our time scrolling on social media, and it is a well-known fact that teenagers are easily influenced. While there are many points that we can use to highlight negative effects, we must also take time to recognize the positive effects, like the fact that social media is a highly effective means of communication and can help foster and further meaningful relationships among teenagers.
My team stance is simple. We acknowledge the benefits of social media. However, it does not contribute significantly to their mental well-being. A study published by the Journal of Adolescence in 2020 revealed that excessive social media use is linked to decrease in social skills and weaker interpersonal relationships among teens. However, my worthy opponents, social media can help manage teens' mental health. With apps like Better Health, they can manage their stress and anxiety. Teens can also use apps to help them develop interpersonal relationship skills through FaceTime, Instagram, and Snapchat. Mental health can help track their well-being indeed. Social media platforms keep us awake, inducing the hormone melatonin, which without we are unable to rest, which is profoundly pivotal for a sustainable well-being. Worthy opponents, don't you stay up late at night to study for an exam? Teens may use apps like Gizmo AI to make studying at night fun and interesting. So bringing forth points that social media significantly impacts their mental well-being is simply outrageous.
Your first speaker spoke on cyberbullying. But as was outlined by my first speaker, this is not a contributor to students' well-being. Your second speaker confidently stated that 70% of Caribbean women are dissatisfied with their body because of social media. But how can this be possible when my first speaker invalidated this poorly assessed point by saying this is due to cyberbullying? Your second speaker speaks on negative impact of social media, but the mood speaks of contribution, not negative impact. as diligently outlined by my first speaker. Your first speaker stated that teenagers use social media platforms to communicate with others. My first speaker intelligently decapitated that 52% of these platforms actually cause more harm than good. Your first speaker mentioned cyberbullying, but isn't she aware that this is against their stance? As we argue that it does not contribute to students' mental well-being.
Our case is like a courtroom trial. First, the evidence has been presented. My first and second speakers have eloquently presented our irrefutable points on cyberbullying, body image, mental health, and the fact that social media also possesses positive effects. Second, the witnesses have spoken. Our Q&A speakers have bravely faced the opposition, fluently asking and answering questions that may have been made towards our argument. The opposition has been found guilty of contradicting themselves at every single point and have presented fatally flawed arguments and have argued the proposition at every turn, while we have cemented our stance and stood on our points from the very beginning. The evidence is overwhelming. The testimony is consistent. The verdict is clear beyond doubt. Therefore, I submit to this honorable court. Let us not be swayed by empty promises. Let us choose what's right over what's easy. In the name of logic, practicality, and justice, this motion must stand. And with that, the proposition rests.
And the winner is Hillsborough Secondary School. This match is between Bishop's College and Grenville Secondary School. The motion is, be it resolved that exams are the primary cause of mental ill health in students.
For countless students around the world, the pressure of exams have become overwhelming. Multiple exams, and at what cost? To fully understand the impact of exams on our students' mental health, we must focus on the most crucial factor. How can these exams affect stress levels? This brings me to my first point. For example, excessive stress and anxiety. According to research done by ResearchGate, students experience significant levels of stress and anxiety before and during exams. You may argue that these exams are essential because they provide a standardized way to measure a student's achievements. But worthy opponents, is maintaining a standardized accountability really worth the stress and anxiety these exams place on students? Another major drawback of exams is that they encourage memorization over understanding. While exams aim to measure achievement, it is crucial to recognize the heavy mental toll it takes on students. Education should empower and support growth, not push young minds to the brink of burnout.
Yes, students' mental health may be declining, but to blame exams as the leading cause is both misleading and dangerous. There are other factors that affect mental ill health. Exams are not the primary root that causes mental ill health. It is meant to test students' knowledge on a particular topic, not to cause mental illness. What about family households? What about social media? Are these not other things that can create greater impact on a student's mental health? Think about it. Mental health decline is influenced by family dynamics, trauma, socio-economic stress, and genetics. Are these not more reasons that proves exams cannot be the only factor that influence mental ill health in students?
My worthy opponents, do you think that without exams, students would perform better?
No, my worthy opponents, but what we're saying is the exams have a negative impact on their mental health. So is it really worth it?
Thank you. On to the next question. If exams are not there to analyze what students have learned, what will teachers use to decide or determine if they are ready for a higher form or grade?
My worthy opponents, there are portfolios and projects to measure these things.
My worthy opponents, wouldn't a project be considered something like an exam?
No, my worthy opponents, sometimes you are given the projects to go home with and research.
My worthy opponent, if students don't face stress now, don't you think that later on in life it will overwhelm them as they have not yet understood how to cope with it?
My worthy opponent, we're saying that exams have a negative impact on the mental health of students. We are not saying that they are completely bad. We just want you to recognize this.
And the winner is Bishop's College. At the close of the preliminaries, 16 schools will advance to the round of 16. Bishop's College, Grenada Boys Secondary School, Grenada STA Comprehensive School, Grenville Secondary School, Happy Hill Secondary School, Hillsborough Secondary School, MacDonald College, Presentation Brothers College, St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School, St. David's Catholic Secondary School, St. John's Christian Secondary School, St. Joseph's Convent Grenville, St. Joseph's Convent St. George, the Anglican High School, the St. George's Institute, Westerhall Secondary School. We're so happy that you could join us. Stay tuned for the next stage of competition, the round of 16, where the theme will be Artificial Intelligence in the Educational Sphere.
Grenada, the stage is set. Brilliant minds, fresh perspectives. It's more than competition. It's confidence, creativity, and critical thinking in action. The Grenlec debates, powering bright ideas.